yourself. We'll start with your question.
Hi, Jason. It's very great to be here. I'm Kylie. I'm from Chicago. I do some local horror host stuff in Chicago as well. My first question to you is, how did the Welcome to the Blumhouse movie series generate? How did you think of that?
Jen Salke and I worked together at NBC at Universal, and so we had a prior relationship before she started at Amazon. And right towards the beginning of her tenure there, she and I did a panel together, and she came to me with the idea, and I thought it was really cool. And then together we decided it would be underrepresented filmmakers. And what I liked about it the most is that we were getting a lot of scripts that I really wanted to make, but the wide theatrical release didn't fit for the scripts. And so I loved having a different place that we could still get to make these stories that I really liked, but put them in a distribution system that fit the storytelling more appropriately than a wide release. So I jumped at the opportunity, and it's been a terrific partnership. It's been really great. I as a filmmaker, in television especially, I haven't been very happy with most of the marketing and most of the work we've done in TV, to tell you the truth. And this is one of the only things I've ever done in TV that I felt great about the marketing. And that makes you feel good as a producer, because when you make something, you want people to see it, or at least have the chance to see it. So it's been a great partnership. Sorry, long answer.
Okay, it definitely keeps the horror alive, and it fills everyone with fear, including myself.
Oh, good.
Hey, Jason, Dave Schrader from Darkness Radio. And I just want to first start off saying thank you very much for giving a voice to different cultures and religions with the movies. And it's funny that you think, these aren't ones that would be wide release. And the ones that you're putting into this limited release, I think are better than 90% of the horror movies that get released from other studios.
Well, good. I'm glad to hear that.
It's great. I was wondering, though, are there any elements from these different cultures that really stood out to you as really terrifying?
Well, one of the things that I thought was really interesting about this second four is I think the storytelling on screen was also kind of more representative of the idea of working with underrepresented directors. The first not all the first four, but the first four, this batch of movies is they're not only from filmmakers who are underrepresented, but also they're about groups of people. The actual stories on screen are about marginalized groups of people.
Right.
And that's what I wanted. That's what I was hoping, is that this is not, it doesn't, not just that the directors didn't look like me, but that the stories would be about things that I don't think about, that aren't in or things that I don't experience, I should say, not think about. And that's what happened this time around. And I was very pleased about that.
Excellent.
Hey,
Thank
Jason. You. I'm Janet. I'm a makeup artist from Chicago. I'm also a big horror movie fan. So my question for you is, 3 of these films are directed by women, and all of them had women lead characters. Do you think that women bring a unique perspective to the stories being told and to the movie making process in general?
Yeah, I think they do, because women make up more than 50% of the audience of horror movies. Women, especially theatrically, young girls drag their boyfriends, and even at home on streaming, genre movies are watched more by women than men. So to me, it makes sense that that's who should be telling the stories, and that's who the story should be about. So I feel like that's very organic. It makes a lot of sense. And I didn't mandate that, but I'm pleased it worked out that way.
Okay, so nice.
Chris, you want to go ahead?
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Jason, you've tackled a lot of different aspects of different things in the occult and supernatural in all these films. Is there one in particular that you're still wanting to get your hands on and go, we need to do this type of movie? We've done vampires, we've done ghosts, we've done demons, but now let's do this particular monster.
I mean, there's so many. I want to do werewolves. I'm working on a werewolf movie, but I haven't pulled it off yet. Love to do Frankenstein. I'd love to do with Friday the 13th what we did with Halloween and what we're doing with Exorcist.
Yes.
So I've got a very long to-do list, believe me.
Like a mummy. I would love to see a really well done.
I'd love to do a low-budget mummy movie.
Yes, they're so easy.
Cool.
Just the zombie advantages.
Yeah. He's so cool. I'd love to do that. The Mummy's a tough one because it's like It was so, that movie was so big, and there was so much light on that movie. So a few more years need to go by, but maybe eventually a Mummy movie too.
Great. Ellie, you want to go ahead?
Yes. Hi, Jason. Congrats on hitting 100,000 followers on Twitter.
Well, if you've been following me, this was the moment I've been waiting for. I'm at 101. I mean, it was so exciting.
Blew up overnight.
My wife is just, if I show how many followers I have to my wife one more time, she's going to divorce me.
So my name's Ellie. I'm a special effects makeup artist. I work on Instagram and starting to work on film, actually.
Oh, cool.
But yeah, so when you're presented with a new film, what is something that you always look for, or like your deciding factor for wanting to pick the movie up and produce it?
Well, we look first and foremost, it has to be, entertaining and scary. But I think the other thing that we look for that's a little unusual, everyone would say that, is that we look for movies that feel like nothing that's come before them. And I think most other studios, they pick movies by saying, oh, this was successful, so let's do a movie like this. And we kind of do the opposite. It's like, this feels fun and scary and creepy, or all of those things, entertaining, and also feels like I haven't seen it before. Now, I can't say every movie that we've done feels completely original, but I think our batting average for movies that feel different is higher than most other studios.
Mm-hmm. Completely agree.
Great. And I think we've got a little time left. We got time for about one more question. Does anyone have another question they didn't get to?
I do have one.
Kylie, you can go.
I just would like to know what scares Jason Blum.
That was gonna be mine.
My answer, I used to always say Donald Trump, but he's less scary.
Oh,
What scares me now.
So the color orange scares you?
The color orange scares me. Well, let me see if I can just give me 1 second to think of something a little more edgy and fun and controversial that doesn't get me canceled. I don't know. I'll stick with Donald Trump.
Okay, sounds good. Me too.
And Dave, squeeze one more in, and then we'll move to photos.
Yeah, I'm just curious, Jason, so many of the actors from your movies have come forward talking about the fact that while filming, they had their own paranormal experiences. Have you personally ever had an encounter with the supernatural?
I had one possible encounter with the supernatural. I lived in an apartment on Crosby Street in New York when I was very young. It was a storefront, and there were 3 of us. We paid $1,000 a month. There were 3 of us. We were paying $362 a month a piece or whatever. And one lived in the front of the store, and one lived in the back of the store. And then there was a trapdoor, and there was a basement, which was the storage. And I lived in the basement. You couldn't stand up. I thought it was cool, but it was very grim. Anyway, I was in my bed. I actually had a full-size bed backed up against, it was a tiny bit of room on either side. And I saw someone holding someone else at the end of my bed. They were not threatening, and they weren't going to hurt me, but it definitely wasn't a dream. And there definitely was no one in the apartment holding someone else at the end of the bed. So I don't know what it was, but I certainly felt that it was